Hey everyone, this is Sam Gold from NFL Breakdowns, and today we are partnering with fieldgoals.com to talk about Frank Clark's development as a pass rusher on the Seahawks defensive line. In the regular season, the second round pick out of Michigan collected just 3 sacks. There were 2 major reasons why there was a general lack of statistical production. The first reason has to do with his role in defense, while the second has to do with his technique. To start the season, Clark lined up behind Cliff Averill as his backup rushing off the edge. Standing at 6'3" and 270 pounds, this is where I thought he would fit best on the team when watching his tape coming out of college. However, partway through the season, his role changed and he rushed more frequently as a 3-technique defensive tackle or even as a 1-technique nose tackle. This change in role made it difficult for him to utilize his full strengths as he was essentially learning a brand new position. From the interior, he would occasionally beat an offensive lineman right off the snap, like in this wide receiver screen pass where he dodges the punch by the guard and instantly penetrates, almost getting the quarterback right after the snap. Way too frequently, however, he would get locked into place by an offensive lineman, not creating any penetration. In his rookie season, a lot of his pass rushing opportunities were actually diminished since the Seahawks frequently asked him to play contain to keep opposing quarterbacks inside the pocket. The Seahawks love running stunts with their edge rushers. Using their linebackers in coverage, Clark was essentially tasked with playing prevent defense on the defensive line. He played it well since he typically did a good job of staying disengaged from his blockers, but like I said before, it reduced his chances for potential sacks. This was evident against the Vikings, where the Seahawks specifically game planned to keep Bridgewater in the pocket. Clark would occupy blockers, which would allow Cliff Averill, Bruce Irvin, or Michael Bennett to penetrate. It worked to perfection as Bridgewater was pressured on 40% of his dropbacks when the Seahawks only blitzed a few times all game. Looking at his abilities independently, you can tell on tape that he has a good burst off the line of scrimmage to get downfield quickly. He uses his speed to generate power, using his full 34.5-inch arm length to create separation between himself and his blocker. This is where he was at his best. But since he had limited opportunities to do this, especially later in the season, this ability couldn't be refined. One thing that can drastically help him in the interior defensive line is learning the counter moves to his initial pass rush. Aaron Donald, for example, one of the best interior defensive linemen in the game, uses a spin move to disengage after his initial burst doesn't work. There was one play in particular that stood out to me for Clark. Against the Browns, Clark flashed the makings of a good bull rush spin combination on their left guard. He starts bull rushing in the beginning, attacking the shoulder pads of his blocker, pushing him into the pocket. After the guard starts to anchor, he does a good job of spinning to get by him, using an ice pick technique to finish the move. Now if he can execute it more quickly, he might be able to get to Manziel before he escaped the pocket. This offseason, the Seahawks drafted Jarran Reed in the second round. The defensive lineman out of Alabama should play a fair bit of snaps in the interior defending the run on the Seahawks hybrid defense, while strong side linebacker Bruce Irvin left for the Oakland Raiders. According to Clark, this should open up opportunities for him to rush from the edge. But even though he lost 10 to 15 pounds this offseason to get quicker off the line, I don't expect him to play coverage at all. Really, I see him playing a combination of 3-technique defensive tackle and then moving to edge rusher opposite of Averill in obvious pass rushing situations. This way, the new rookie, Jarran Reed, would play the nose tackle position. Well, that's it for me. Subscribe to my channel for my next video breakdown. You can find me on Twitter at SamuelRGold. And if you want to support my work with a donation, follow the link to my Patreon account on the screen.